What's up, psychos? I mean, psychics. Welcome to the Green Light Yoga Podcast. My name's Andrew.
And I'm Heather.
And we talk all things spirituality on this podcast, so welcome to the show. What are we talking about today?
Today's one of my favorite things to talk about. Everyone is psychic. Shocker, I know. Just stay with me here. Anytime I talk about spirituality with people and tell people that I am a psychic, I always get that momentary, what? And then I inform them, well, you're psycho. You're psychic too. You're psycho too. And that always opens up a very interesting conversation. So I'm going to let you start off with explaining how is everyone psychic?
Yeah, I mean, so we could talk about like maybe the different ways to perceive energy. So everything in the universe is energy, and we can pick up on energy in these different ways. I think the most common way, most relatable way, is the first kind of ability, which is called clairsentience, or clear feeling. So that gut feeling that some people might refer to as their kind of their gut intuition, so to speak.
Right, like when you walk into a room and you kind of feel the vibe of the room,
right.
That's the energy of the room. You're just perceiving how it feels. Or when you go on a first date, I'm not really feeling it, or I'm really feeling it, or an interview, or any situation where you get a feeling about it. Like even when you just go for a walk and you're like, oh, I really love the feeling of energy of nature. Mm-hmm. Like that's all clairsentience, that's all feeling energy. So you practice your psychic abilities literally every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the thing is with that ability is that, you know, some people are very sensitive at that level, and they're picking up on so much on that feeling level. And sometimes without the awareness of what's happening, that they kind of confuse that, oh, everything that they're feeling it's them, it's their energy. And then, oh, this doesn't feel good, something's wrong with me. Mm-hmm. And perhaps that might not even be anything to do with your energy. It might be that you're picking up on someone's energy in the room or just in a building. It could be actually from very afar.
Like your mother across the country.
Exactly, yeah. Hey, Mom. So, yeah.
That's also more commonly known as empaths. People who are very hypersensitive to other people's energy are very commonly known as empaths. And if you're an empath and you already know you're an empath, hi, you know exactly what we're talking about.
Right, yeah. So just on that level, just becoming aware of like, oh wow, like everything that I'm feeling, it might not even be your own energy. So that's like huge of just going, well, how much of what I'm feeling right now is actually mine? And just, so you might be surprised sometimes of, oh, none of it, or just a small portion of it. Or it could be a lot of it, just depends. You just kind of, the big thing is that we're trying to show here and teach here is that, just trusting your own intuition. It's not looking outside of yourself for the validation or the answers, is that, you have these abilities within you that you can utilize, and what can you do with those abilities?
And that also goes into the ability of your clear knowing, which is your clear cognizance, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I always get these words wrong.
It's clear something.
It's clear something. So with your clear cognizance and your clear knowing, have you ever gotten like that inkling of like, I know this is going to happen today, or I shouldn't go down this street today, or I shouldn't pick up this thing today. You just get that weird little inkling, and you think to yourself, oh, I'm just being crazy, nothing's going to happen. Or, I do this every time, so why would it be any different this time? And then sure enough, something happens, and you instantly go, I knew it. Right. That is your clear cognizance. You knew the energy of what was about to go down. And so anytime you have that, I knew that was going to happen, that was your psychic ability talking to you.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is I think we, we're aware to some degree of our intuition, some more than others. Obviously, if you take the time to kind of work with it, and develop it, and practice with it, you're more kind of aware of it. The biggest thing, though, is learning to trust it. I've listened to some of the intuition, I've heard this, or however you're perceiving it, feeling it, whatever. Then what? Do you just go, phooey, that's nonsense? Which a lot of people do.
Phooey.
But the thing is, well, what if you start to trust these abilities, trust your intuition? Where's that going to take you? And that's the thing, is it can be pleasantly surprising kind of the road you go down if you're, wow, I'm actually following my own intuition. I trust it and I'm going to act on it. So listening to it is a one thing, trusting it, that's a huge thing. That can take time. You kind of develop that certainty.
Because you think you're crazy. You're like, oh, I'm just making this up. Like, this isn't real. Like, you
Right.
literally think you're doing that, even though it's speaking to you. You're like, I'm making this up. This isn't real.
Well, that's the thing. I think in society that it's, what is the unseen is kind of invalidated. So, intuition, how do you, it's not like this tangible thing like this table. So it's not logical, it's not rational, and it can be easily invalidated or labeled as, oh, well, that's crazy talk. And what we're here to say is, no. It's crazy not to follow these things, because really beautiful things can unfold if you do follow your intuition.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Now, we've talked about like your clear feeling and your clear knowingness. What are the other abilities that we all naturally have, but some of us just don't tap into as much? Like those two, I think most people are familiar with.
Yeah, those two I think that most people are familiar with. The one on the feeling level, kind of more relatable. They just might not call it psychic than being psychic, but it is.
They call it listening to their gut.
Yeah, their spidey sense, whatever you want to call it. But there's these two other ways of perceiving energy, you could say. And this is the ones I think have more energy on them, more kind of negative connotation, if you will. So that's the hearing energy and also seeing energy. And so hearing energy, so clairaudience, so that could just be hearing very well. That could be hearing just energy, so just kind of a sound wave, just a vibration, just a whoom, 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 whoom. That's just energy vibrating. That's an example of that. But then going even deeper of, I'm communicating with a being that does not have a physical body. Oh, one of my spirit guides, and in certain religions, they talk about angelic type beings, angels, different kind of angels. Being able to hear them, whether you hear like a word or a couple words or a phrase, that's clairaudience, that's clear hearing.
And one of the other psychic abilities that are very highly invalidated is clear seeing, which is clairvoyance. Being able to see energy, which is mostly what you and I practice when we really tap into our psychic abilities. I mean, yeah, sure, we still feel energy, hear some energy. Me, not so much. I don't hear as much energy, but I definitely like have a clear knowingness of things. Like sometimes the answer just comes to me, and then using clairvoyance, and that's just seeing energy, and that can be like shapes, colors, pictures.
Yeah, colors, that's usually where it starts, when you start to open up your sixth chakra, just an energy center, and then you can see symbols, but then mental image pictures, being able to see a full picture. So you think back to like when we actually had to go to a store and then get like your pictures developed, and you had like the little Kodak picture. So if someone was like holding like a Kodak picture right out in front of you, you could say, that's someone seeing a mental image picture. So yeah, colors, symbols, mental image pictures, being able to see and read energy on a visual level.
That very highly gets invalidated, especially when you're like, I'm hearing things or I'm seeing things. People instantly think you're crazy. So those are usually things that get very highly invalidated. And that also leads into just the massive negative connotation that goes around being psychic. Like you say the word psychic, everyone has this certain negative pull to it. There's been a lot of negative energy brought around just that word. There's nothing wrong with the word. Like the very meaning of the word is what?
Just, over pertaining to the soul. So it's just, psychic ability is a soul, a soul ability. So again, everyone's an immortal being. They're not their physical bodies. Most people identify as the physical body, so that's why they fear death greatly. I'm the body, and that's all I know. That's all there is. It's just physicality and nothing more. And if I identify as the body, then then I know the body's it's gonna perish at some point. There's an expiration date, unfortunately. And so when that goes, then it's lights out. This is terrifying. But if I'm this immortal being and I have this body, Yeah, but yeah, we have all these different psychic abilities, and these are just a few ways of perceiving energy. And you know, it really comes down. Excuse me. It just comes down to paying attention. You know, that's usually if you're. What are we paying attention the most? Is usually we're looking at our phones, or we're just kind of head down, kind of nose in the grindstone kind of thing.
Wake up, go to work,
Yep.
come home, cook dinner, go to sleep. Wake up, go to work, come home, cook. And we are on this repetitive loop,
Right.
and we kind of dull our senses to everything else because either you just don't have the energy for it, or you're just I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, you could just if there's one of those that like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting, or oh, I think I may have experienced that. You know, whether it's the feeling or the hearing or the seeing. You know, some people they just I got a flash of an image. You know, and whoa, that came out of nowhere. What's that? And it's just a matter of just kind of holding the intention of just, you know, I want to pay attention to that more. I want to explore that more. I want that to. I just want to become more aware of that. It's just having that intention, that alone, that can start to open things up. So.
Another way of doing that, at least for me personally, that's worked for me, is journaling. Like just as a place to start. Because I will have so many epiphanies while I'm journaling. I'll be writing about something that bothers me or something that's just kind of poking at me, like something at work. Something's poking at me. Like, why is this bothering me? And then I'm like, is it this, or is it because of that? Is it the way my family, or is it the way I grew up? Is it something that happened to me in college? Like, why does this one specific thing bother me? And just paying attention to that, you can get your own answers. Like, the answers will come to you. You just have to give yourself some patience to listen to your intuition, because that's always worked great for me. With journaling, I get so many epiphanies, but that's, again, my personal preference. How do you, what's a physical thing that you've done that really, brings forward your intuition really simply?
Well, before I get to that, is that, yeah, journaling is also great for just kind of getting your thoughts and feelings kind of on the page. That's one way of kind of a basic, simple way of kind of letting go, so to speak. Just kind of, okay, I'm going to put it on the page. But yeah, sometimes just kind of writing things out, and like you said, having those epiphanies of, oh wait, here I have an answer for myself.
Right.
And that's the thing, is the big thing is that we again think that, you know, when spiritual seekers, we start the journey usually looking outside of ourselves. That the answer, that little nugget of wisdom that I'm seeking or looking for, it's outside of yourself, and that's the big kind of lie or misconception, is that it's not outside of you. It's not in the world, the physical world. It's not in a book, another person. Books and people can help you, kind of guide you, to help you find your own answers. Absolutely, 100%. That's really what we're all about. But at the end of the day, you know, I don't have your answer. We don't have your answers. You have them within yourself, and I think that could be actually a relief. That it's okay. It's not out there. It's within. Only you're the one that has you've got the key, right? And it's just a matter of, well, how do you do that? How do you turn within? And that's meditation. So yeah, sometimes I'll journal, not as much, but so for me it's meditation. That's me sitting down, kind of just getting grounded, turning within, centering myself, and just doing certain techniques so I get to a point where I kind of feel like things are kind of calm and I'm comfortable, and that's when I can kind of notice these different levels of intuition and pay attention to those, and start to use that as information to kind of guide me on, okay, my next step and whatever I'm doing in life.
And you said something, you're like, oh, I notice when I'm settled and comfortable. Like, that makes so much sense, because the second you close your eyes for meditating, literally anything that's going on within you, like something that triggered you that day, your stress, your anxiety, the things you worry about, literally just come popping up as soon as you close your eyes. You're like, whoa! And so that's why a lot of people say, like, oh, I can't shut my mind off to meditate. It's not necessarily about shutting your mind off to meditate. It really is just kind of navigating through all the energy and learning what to do with it so that you can turn inward. Because it's just like with advertisements on YouTube or anywhere else. There's all these things popping up trying to invade your space or invade your mind to get you thinking about that thing. And that's basically what happens when people close their eyes to meditate. All these like ads start popping up of you should do this and you should be doing laundry and you should be thinking about that. You shouldn't be taking this time for yourself. You're so selfish, or whatever they are.
There's a lot of distractions, and it's
Yeah.
easy to distract yourself, especially when things are getting kind of challenging or not so fun. And again, your phone is just one big way of, okay, I'm going to distract myself.
Right.
And so, yeah, when you start
Guilty.
to, yeah, everyone is. But when you go to sit down and close your eyes and turn within, all the stuff that you've been maybe resisting or avoiding or denying, it's just kind of sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be just simple things of something unfinished from the day, of a conversation or something you did or didn't do or whatever, half completed. There's all that kind of stuff, and then just worries, concerns, that just about things in the house or, again, things at work.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's things that go even deeper than that of like, things that have happened early on in life that were just maybe troublesome for you. And so these things start to pop up, and it's just learning, okay, how do we navigate these things? How do we notice those things and just kind of let them be? In other words, how do you find, you can think of a hurricane, where how do you kind of get to the core of it, the center of it, the eye of it, so that you can kind of be neutral, or kind of there's this calming, peaceful, instead of being caught in the ring where there's just kind of chaos. And that's what most people experience. It's turbulence, and it's just like, okay, I'm opening my eyes. I'm terrible at meditation. I'm never doing this again. I can't do it. I'm terrible. And that's a lie. Everyone's capable of doing this. Yeah, there's going to be challenges, absolutely. We all face those to some degree. It's just learning kind of some techniques to kind of, okay, how do I kind of find the center where I can find this kind of stillness, this calmness, and just start to kind of watch the show and just, okay, there's this thing. All right, I'm just going to let that be. I'm not going to try to judge or resist it or anything like that, fight it. Just, hey, there's this thing. Okay, I'm going to let it be or let it go. And then eventually you get to a point you kind of do that for a little bit, and then you can kind of just sit there and you're just in that calming, kind of neutral, still kind of place. And that's when you kind of almost don't want to leave. That's when you're like, oh, this is great. This is when I go on the vacation and there's not a lot of noise, and there's the ocean waves and just the sound of the forest, and it feels great. You don't want to leave it. And you could say when you reach that point in meditation, like that's kind of like your own little inner vacation. You don't have to go physically somewhere. It's just, again, turning within.
And you get a lot of answers that way.
Correct. Yes.
You're able to look at something and be like, why does this bother me? Oh, it's because of this thing. And you can look at that image without it harming you in a way or like reliving it. But you get a lot of answers from that. And yeah, that's what we mean by everyone is psychic and the answers are within yourself. And we love talking to people about this. Comment down below if you had any experiences of your own where you knew something was wrong or you knew something was going to happen, even something positive. Like a lot of times people are like, oh, I felt that negative thing. But even if you had a positive experience where you knew something beautiful was going to happen and it happened. We do have some events coming up.
Yeah, so just go to our website. It's greenlight.yoga. So it's not greenlight.com. It's greenlight.yoga. And go check that out. We got some events coming up, especially in the new year. So go check that out if you're interested.
Great. Thanks for coming by and listening to us talk about spirituality. We hope to see you on the next episode.